Hey everybody, so this video is all about getting your tourist visa to go to India. So some things to note right off the bat. In India, you need to have a visa before you arrive. Do not just show up at the airport because you might just play yourself and get turned around. So India is one of these countries that you need to have this planned in advance. Now there are different types of visas for a tourist. So there is an e-visa that you can get online. So an e-visa is great if you're just going for a quick trip. An e-visa is for 30 days, but here's the thing to remember, you cannot extend an e-visa. So if you get an e-visa and you decide, oh my God, I love India, I wanna stay, sorry, you are out of luck, you're gonna need to get a different visa. I don't know that process, I haven't done that. I've always had a different type of visa. And also a thing about an e-visa is you can only have 2 in a year. So, but I mean, if you're just taking little trips to India, like I said, it's fine. An e-visa might work out for you. You can do everything online. But if you think you're going to stay for longer, then you might want to get a tourist visa, which is a little bit different of a process. So for a tourist visa, it needs to be done through a consulate or an embassy, something like that. I've applied for 2 different tourist visas, and it does matter where in the world you are when you apply for a tourist visa. So I'm American, and I've applied for a tourist visa in Nepal and in the United States. Now in Nepal, I was only granted a 4-month visit, a 4-month stay. I asked for 6 months, but I was given 4. When I applied for my visa in the United States, I got 10 years. Yes. I didn't even know that was possible until recently. That you can get a 10-year tourist visa, but you can. So you should do it. If you're American, this is not something that's open to every nationality and to every group, but this is something that Americans can get for India. And also the price difference between like my 4-month visa and the 10-year visa was negligible. In Nepal, I paid about $110 for the 4-month visa. Here in the US, in California, I paid $124 for the 10 years. So if you're in the US, get your tourist visa for 10 years. But note, you need to be in the United States. It's not something that you can do even from, I was in Thailand and looked into it. There were rumors online that you can maybe get your 10-year visa from Bangkok. I don't think it's possible. Like, I looked into it and it seemed really iffy. Everything is up to, I mean, it's always at the discretion of the embassy and the consulate, but I couldn't find any instances of people that were actually granted 10 years recently from Bangkok. So I came back to the States and now I have gotten my 10-year visa. I'm so happy. So I want to help you get yours if this is something that you're interested in. So the process is fairly straightforward. There's just a few things that you need to know and kind of have ready for you in advance. So if you're applying online, which is how you need to start the process, you do need to have a photo of yourself that you can upload. So it needs to be a photo of your face that's clear against a white backdrop. So it's basically a passport photo, okay? But a digital one. So you're gonna need to upload that onto the website. Also, when you mail in your application or take it into one of the offices, you're going to need an actual passport photo, 2x2. Different countries have different sizes, you know, but here, if you're applying in the US and applying for the Indian visa, you need the 2x2 passport. So once you get that, you're also going to need a photocopy of your actual passport, the page that has, you know, all the information on it. You don't need any old visa pages or any other pages, just that first page, like the double, where they can see your signature and your photo and all of your expiration date and all that stuff. As always, make sure you have at least 6 months left on your passport before it expires. And you need to have at least 2 blank pages in your passport. So if you've been doing a ton of travel, I mean, look, you know, if you're doing a ton of travel, you know you need to have extra pages and stuff like that for when you apply for visas. So if you have that ready, the only other thing that you need for this is you actually do need a reference in India to put down. So you also need a reference in the US, but if you're American, I'm sure you have a wealth of people you can choose from, the family members, friends to put down as a US reference, but you do need a reference in India. So what I did is I put down, I asked someone who worked at a hostel that I've stayed at in India before, and I just needed name, phone number, and address. Now, even when I applied for a visa for Thailand, I didn't know anyone. I'd never been to the country before. I booked a hotel, called, got the name of the manager, and then I just put down the manager's name, address of the hotel, phone number, nailed it, done, approved. I don't know how thoroughly they check these things to find out if you actually know the person, but I haven't had an issue. So this is what I do for the references, and everything has been fine. The other thing that you will need for an Indian visa is you're going to need a proof of address. So what I used was just my license. So a photocopy of a license with the address on it is good enough. If your license address is not the same as your current address, you can update your license, which might be nice, and then put that on there. Or, there's different documents that they also approve, like bank statements and sort of these things. You can look on the website. They have an extensive list. And the website that I went through is the CKGS website. I'll show it to you right now so you can have a little look. So this website is really great. It really walks you through the process, all the steps. Just make sure you don't make any typos, because any little typos or things that you make can delay your process. So they do say that they will occasionally ask people for supplementary materials if there's something extra that they need to see. I didn't experience that. I just submitted the basic paperwork that they asked for, and from the time they received my application to my getting the actual visa and being able to get it back, it was 1 week. So I got my paperwork to them. I finished everything on a Monday. I overnighted it to them via UPS next day morning. So they got it on a Tuesday morning. And by that following Tuesday, I was able to go and pick it up from the office. And I opted to pick it up because I just was in kind of a hurry and wanted to be able to get it in my hands quickly. So that's the option that I selected. But if you're not in a hurry, you can also just send them a UPS envelope that has the label already on it, and they'll just send it back to you. Or you can also drop it off and pick it up both in person. I didn't do that because when you submit the application online, if you say you want to pick it up in person, they give you an appointment. You can't just go in anytime you want. And for me, the appointment that was available was a week after I was submitting the application, and the whole point was I was in a hurry. So a week was not fast enough for me. But if you do the online process and you say you want to walk in and drop it off, and you say you look and the next appointment is for a week or two later, don't panic. You can still mail it in. So just put it all in an envelope and send it to them. It's not a problem. Even if you've chosen to walk in, you can change your mind. So that's it. So just have all your paperwork. So again, just a quick little recap of the things you need. Have a photo of yourself against a white backdrop of your head, like a passport photo. You'll need actual 2x2 passport photos, a copy of the first page of your passport with your photo and signature and everything on it, a copy of a proof of address, and then you're going to need the info as far as, make sure you have your references and everything in order, and then just your old passport to input all the information onto the website, and that's basically it. It's pretty straightforward. If you're American, that's all you need, and you can get this 10-year tourist visa, which is such a wonderful thing to have, I think. So, yeah, and if you want, you can continue to follow me on this journey. I am leaving for India in almost a little over 2 weeks right now. So I'm just going to be traveling all about. So you're welcome to join along.